it's no secret that I love Archangel Wrath, so I figured I would have to give it another shot in Best of One because I think I tried it in the past and I couldn't really find a good shell for it. I tried it in the Angels build, I think. I don't remember. I tried like playing some Mardu as well, but this is like kind of a modified Mardu, so it's basically just Boros, but we're using the black sources as just a light splash for specifically Archangel. So I'm playing 0 black spells, and I had tested in the past just playing mono white splash red for Fable, but that didn't feel like it was enough. It felt like I was moving in the right direction, but it didn't feel like the power of Strangle and Fable alone were enough to justify it. And it felt like I was definitely missing a card like Brotherhood's End to potentially round out the red cards. And I figured I should try slotting in the Archangel Wrath into this build as well, because that way I would have a lot of ways to, generate board presence while also having removal. And being in white, I think, is a huge upside in best of one. I feel like being in white, having access to Wandering Emperor, the Farewells, the enchantment slash artifact interaction, the some copies of Wedding Elves. I don't think this is too important in best of one, but I think it is still good against the Invoke deck, so that's why I'm playing two. Having access to general, just good planeswalkers, good solid creatures, and a versatility of interaction that you cannot get from other colors. So I figured I had to be in white, and obviously I want to play Fable. Obviously I want to play Brotherhood's End. These two cards essentially are what dragged me into red with the Archangel Wrath that I felt like should have a huge impact. I don't know why it wouldn't have a huge impact in best of one, because against mono red, it gives you that lifelink blocker that you desperately need to kind of stabilize you against mono red, especially after Brotherhood's End or something. Mono red has been quite troublesome in best of one due to the fact that if they win their coin flip, it's really difficult to stabilize early enough before you just lose the game. So the red gives you access to that, and then the Archangel Wrath is the one of the best follow-ups possible. And it's also really good with Fable to play Fable on 3, attack with the Treasure Goblin, and then get a ping from the treasure, and 4 mana plus treasure 5, and then you get the ping plus a good body. It's really good against mono red. So essentially I was trying to build a deck that would be very good against mono red while also being good against other mono white decks, because I'm also in white, so I had to make sure that I was still good against other mono white decks, and Brotherhood's End is actually good against other mono white decks. Also being good against soldiers, and this covers that basis as well. Now, the one thing that I think this deck might struggle with is potentially mono black, because I'm only running 3 wedding announcements, and I am not running many answers to cards like Shield Red. So yeah, I don't really have that many. I don't have Loran either, which would be an easy way of dealing with Flesh Gorger and an easy way of dealing with Bankbuster. So this list definitely has room to grow. Also, I wanted to mention that this footage that's upcoming, I started this deck off playing at Jeskai Control because that was the first idea I had, because I was playing some blue-white and it was not working out anymore. And I knew I needed red. I knew I needed Fable and Brother Zen. So I ended up playing Jeskai, and the only blue card I was playing was Make Disappear. And I quickly realized that the price, the strain on the mana base was not worth it. I really quickly realized that just for Make Disappear is maybe not worth it. And I'm still not 100% sure, because Make Disappear is such a powerful 2-drop spell, but I was not able to necessarily get the enough blue mana to justify it. So I had a lot of tapped blue sources early game because I had to play a Triome. I had to play the Grixis Triome, and also that lowered the viability of Archangel, where I had less black sources because I had more blue sources. I could not get everything in place. While in this build, by foregoing the blue, I'm allowing myself to play a little bit more black and a little bit better mana, more untapped mana, to secure the early game, make sure I don't lose against mono red, play less pain lands. So in the end, it's kind of a win-win, unless it's a matchup where I need Make Disappear. And I could not justify it in the end. I could not justify Make Disappear. So now we're on basically just red and white, using the blue sources that are gone as a better black splash than I had before, when I was only running basically 4 Triomes and like 2 Shattered Sanctum. So yeah, we have more untapped mana, we have more black sources, relying more on tempo than just overall versatility of answers. Having counterspell is really good, but to kind of compensate for that fact, I figured I needed a card that would allow me to be pretty good against control decks as well. And that's where the Cathar Commando comes in. So it's a card that is going to be quite good against mono red as a flash creature. So it comes in on their turn. So they cannot necessarily, well, they just cannot interact with it on when they have open mana on your turn. So you go on their turn, and if they want to answer it when you flash it in, they have to use their mana on their turn. So there's that. Then there's and it's also good against control because it's a flash creature, right? So that's why I needed some kind of compensation for the lack of counter magic. We're playing 2 Wedding Announcement. That's only because I couldn't really find a justification to playing more. I could not find the slots for it. It seems like Fable is just a better card, and I could not really justify cutting any other permanents. I can't really cut a Cathar Commando for a 3-drop. That doesn't really make sense. I don't think I want to cut a Wandering Emperor for a Wedding Announcement, so 2 just seems like the maximum amount that I can fit in. I would like to play 4, but I do not think that there's a way to do that. I do also feel like I kind of want a Laurent somewhere, but that's also a card I cannot find justification for playing right now with the 26 lands as well. So key thing, you cannot go below 26 lands. I've already done the math on the mana, and there's no way to get a sufficient amount of colors for each to play this deck without 26. So do not even think about it. It's not worth it. Other than that, there's not really too much to think about. So Strangle is basically replacing Lay, and in most cases it does a similar job. Now the only thing that it doesn't do as well is it does not deal with Shield Red. And again, as I mentioned before, Shield Red is a massive problem for this deck in some ways. It's not like a huge problem because, you know, I still have 5 answers technically, but they're answers that are, other than Destroy Evil, they're not very optimal. And I do have another 3 copies of Wandering Emperor that can answer Shield Red if they do attack, but that's not necessarily something that's going to happen either. So yeah, essentially, oh, I also have Wandering Emperor, that the Wanderer, I mean, that can deal with it. So I mean, we have answers, but they're not efficient. They're usually expensive, and they usually require some sort of pre-requirement. Requirement in general. So they either have to attack or I have to sweep my board. So yeah, it's not too optimal. But yeah, we've got 2 Destroy Evils for Legends, Shield Red decks, just mono white mirror. So being able to interact with the enchantments as well has been very useful. Hitting Bankbuster as well when it attacks is very useful. The Strangle, which hits pretty much everything up to 3 mana other than Rafine, I think, in this metagame. Light Up the Night, that could be a Strangle. I'm still experimenting with it. It seems like it's quite good though, because it gives me a little bit of reach, and this deck has a lot of reach with Archangel already. So having even more does sound pretty good to me. I'm not exactly sure if it's better than Strangle though, so we still need some testing for that. Got 1 Depop for like some kind of a classic one of kind of bailout kind of card where just in case, you know, why not? 3 Bankbusters, I think it's fine. This deck wants to curve out. I don't think you have that much time to activate and draw a card. So I'm kind of compensating for that fact by playing more Wardens, which is just an immediate creature plus card draw that also synergizes very well with Planeswalkers. So we should have enough card draw in the deck if you combine potentially Wedding Announcement drawing as well. And this card doesn't really do anything until I play at least, you know, 3 power creature. So it's not necessarily going to be blocking anytime soon as well. But yeah, there's not that much to talk about, I think, right? Like, to Farewell, I figured I needed the second one after playing a lot in the mono white mirror. I just felt like I always needed to draw it. And the downside of playing Farewell when you're playing Fable is lessened because you can just discard it if it's not useful. So I'd rather have 2 than 1 because sometimes it's your only out in certain matchups. And yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really think I need to comment on like Wanderer is just a one of. It comes in on the rest. Definitely 3 Brotherhoods, and I think it's correct. It could be 2, but I'm not sure. It is just so powerful in this metagame. Either way, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you enjoy the matches, and yeah. Yeah, like barely have enough white to even play the deck, really. Oh, I got my black. Well, that's pretty lucky. They played Thalia off curve. Okay. Kind of annoying, but I can just double. Just need a land here and we're very stable. Oh, it has to be specifically white source. Well, it's only a matter of time before I win this, right? Just need any white source. That is most definitely not a white source. But we have Fable. Should get me a treasure or a block. In the case of a block, I just need to discard. Okay, I really need that white source, so I'm definitely going to discard. Fine. I will discard Warden. I had a feeling. I had a feeling that this was not going to go well for me. That's why I kept the Fable. If I knew I was hitting a white source, I would have kept the... I would have ditched an Angel. Wait, what? I would have ditched Fable, yeah. Okay, there's no way it's happening again, right? I just need one. Okay, jeez. Better late than never. I could add white-black lands instead of the plains. I might do that. To capitalize a little bit harder off of Archangel. It's a possibility. Should probably take that option. I can't cut a Siobhan Reef. I already did the math. There's a reason I'm not cutting any red sources. Okay. And I can definitely work with this. I have a really good hand. Fable into Archangel. Okay, this matchup is okay, especially with Archangel. As long as they don't curve out too hard here. Okay. I am alright with that. Wonder if I discard nothing here. Protection spell. That's okay. Means they won't have it for this one. That's very good.
Not much of a roadblock.
I'm not sure about keeping the strangle. I'm really not sure, but just like kind of a backup plan. Okay, Archangel doing work, Fable doing work. Already 2 things working. No blue, which is a problem, but it was unlikely that I hit no blue. I could definitely maybe just turn this into Boros control, but or like Mardu just for the black splash for Angel. At that point, I feel like actually at that point I should just be playing straight up Mardu with cut downs probably. But maybe not. Maybe not. If I don't hit this blue source, hit a 6 drop too. Wow, that is not good. That is very not good. Being on the draw is hurting me so much without the blue source. Alright, I hit it, which is maybe just in time. I don't know. It depends. Like, if they play Lord, I would certainly counter it. Counter spell, potentially. I don't know why they would be playing a counter spell, but what can you do? Okay, that's good. So they didn't want to commit further into the sweeper, so that's good. It's fine. I will stabilize here. Or I can wait 1 turn and get a double ping, but that does not seem worth it. It's really good that I can hit a sweeper, then follow up with an angel to like recover lost HP, create a good blocker. Alright, farewell, gonna do some work as well. Fantastic. This is great. Very good situation. I'm surprised they're still playing. Well, as I say that.
Just underwhelming.
Pretty good. Don't tell me it's mono white. Are you? It's crazy. The matchmaking is so bad. At least I cut a strangle. And they're not using Bankbuster. And they're still not using Bankbuster. Alright. Well. It's unfortunate that I have to play it there, but drawing the second one, I need a board state to attack with the wedding. Get the proc off it. I could play 2 farewell, honestly. I don't know. Think about it. It's not that bad because I can discard it to Fable anyways. I keep hitting mono white, which is not what I want to hit. It's not a bad matchup either. It's just seems like I'm just not hitting right every time. Alright, got some flyers. Got 4 damage in hand, got another flyer. This turn I'm gonna swing for decent damage. Eventually. She'll leave the battlefield, sure. That is pretty annoying. But at the same time, I have so much life. Now I need Fable though. And eventually I can kill that. It has to be with Destroy Evil, Depop, Farewell, Eternal Wanderer, or Wandering Emperor. So I have like five options, I think. Six options. And even then, they don't want to attack, right? So we're kind of in a stalemate until that happens. Oh wow, I'm really happy that they're doing that for 3 for 3 instead of Vigilance. Okay, so that's why they did that, because they want to get the draw as well. Wait, they could have done it. They have 8. I thought they were at 7. Why would they do that? Do they have Wandering Emperor? Okay, that might make sense. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. If they have Wandering Emperor, though, they can get this out of range. Which would be bad. I did not consider that before doing my thing, so I have to wait 1 turn. And I have to Archangel it instead. It's not that bad. I hate mono white when I'm playing a white base deck as well. Just lasts forever. I definitely need to play another Farewell just for this matchup. It would give me such an advantage. Alright, so thankfully I'm at 21 and not 20, so even if I take 4 turns of that, I would not die. Fable. Ah. Interesting. I do want the card. Even at the price of some life, maybe. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. But I mean, I'm still gonna nuke because I get to save my enchantments here. I do take a decent amount of damage though. As in 5. And I do get a Wandering Emperor as well. Yeah, of course they would do that. Makes sense. Nuke. I need a second parallel just for this matchup. It's such an advantage to have it. It is such an advantage. I actually really appreciate the strangle hitting planeswalkers. It's been really relevant over cut down sometimes. It's a huge reset because I get to keep my board state, or part of my board state, while they get to keep nothing, but they do get a Wandering Emperor. Ah, okay, that's annoying. Very annoying.
Remember your training.
But I do have the Wandering Emperor now, so unless they can give the other thing Vigilance. Oh, they have another Wandering Emperor, okay. But they would not save that either way because their Wandering Emperor is up. So this is not really a problem. And I get a 4/5 lifelink plus some HP, which means I'm out of range of 2 hits from Vindicator. And even if they do attack, I can attack back with double Archangel because I have the Kiki as well. So I'd always be able to race this unless they hit another copy of Steel Seraph, which would be bad. Or that. Damn it.
I'll light your way on these dark streets.
That's probably worst case scenario. So now I have 2 ways of dealing with that, or Eternal Wonder actually, so 3. Just kind of annoying. Oh, thank goodness. Oh my god, that's such a misplay. I cannot believe they would do that. I feel like giving that Vigilance is so good. Wow. Well, they did the worst sequence of plays possible. That's perfect for me. I was actually in a tough spot, to be honest. No longer, though. So we can start things off. I know they have a Wandering Emperor. That's pretty much confirmed at this point. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this first. Reason is that I want to give them an opportunity to protect the Elspeth because they think that they can give it Vigilance next turn. If I give them the opportunity... Yeah, I should do this. There's no reason not to, right? Even if they do exile it, it's fine. I think here there's a chance that since I didn't show them that I had my Wandering Emperor, they would protect the Elspeth, give this Vigilance.
I'm home. You're done.
Now, I do lose my Wandering Emperor for this play, but
Learned much during my travels.
they don't really care too much about it.
This is what you get for hurting my people.
They don't really care too much about it. I need to do damage more than whatever this will offer me. Oh, they would have drawn that. Oh my goodness. That's rough, actually. But now I have double Sanctuary Warden potential. It's going to be huge.
Strike fast and
Although that's pretty big now. This is such a weird position to be in.
I'm never done for good.
It's actually closer than I'd want it to be. But this is really huge. Massive board state, threatening Wandering Emperor, and if they want to block, they would have to lose their Steel Seraph. So this is a perfect situation, pretty much.
I guess that's it.
Ooh, committing into Farewell here, not my biggest Not the most exciting plan, so I'm not gonna do that. Good. Very good. They misplayed and they got punished for it. So sometimes that happens in Magic, and I'm happy it happened here. Sometimes it doesn't matter though. You hate to see it when they make a huge misplay and they still win. Alright, that's a good one. If you enjoy my content and would like to help me keep making it, consider joining my Patreon, where you'll gain access to a bunch of bonus videos, written sideboard guides, metagame tier lists, so for standard best of 3, for example, ranking all the decks, some game theory guides, as well as deck building guides, and other services depending on the tier, of course. Thank you to all the lovely patrons that are already subscribed, and I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.